tell you where my fond memories come from. It's from hunting, and being up really early. And like if you wanted, like any time that we would get up at night to do like some nighttime farmer shit, it was Waffle House, and it was just I've got a lot of like good memories there where there weren't, I don't know, people fighting, which happens there a lot. It was just like, I don't know, me and my dad and like a waitress at like 4 a.m. or something like there, sitting there having coffee. So
what's a
I like Waffle
nighttime
House
farming activity?
Oh man, when they catch, so you know you're there raising chickens from like little yellow peep thing to big white bird that gets butchered and thrown into frozen dinners and whatnot. And that happens over the course of 7 weeks. At the end of that 7 weeks, they show up to get them. And I don't know if you've ever considered how they get 150,000 chickens.
No, but I've seen Yellowstone.
I don't know what they do on Yellowstone. Do they have one of those machines
involved? Have you never seen that where they usher the herds of chicken across the plains?
With the
Someone tried that at one point and lost a lot of money.
Man, I really thought at least a few of them were going to make it across the
river. Ranching. Wait, fuck! No, don't go over there.
So what they do is, if you've ever seen like a semi truck loaded down with white big chickens,
I think I have.
Then and they're crammed in there in those big cubes, the cube cages. Essentially, what they do is they do this at night because if the chickens can't see you coming, they go docile and just kind of sit still. They do it at night in complete darkness. All the equipment in the chicken house gets raised up to the ceiling via like these drills that like winch it up. And then everything gets moved out of the way. And now you have an ocean of 25 to 40,000 7-pound chickens sitting there kind of half awake. And then they like burst the doors open and like a dozen Mexicans storm in there wearing armor and respirators. And they start grabbing them, as many as they can in a handful. They have this really crazy, I've seen them do it. Like they'll get a chicken's foot between each finger. Like one, and each chicken is held by 1 foot, so they can just reach in and have like a dozen birds in like 6 in each fist,
and they're all dressed like Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah. And they're covered. They're on the outside. They're wearing like long johns because they're doing the filthiest, scariest work ever. And these things have talons to not. Yeah, I guess nothing scary, but if they get you, then you've got an open wound in a very filthy environment. So they're all armored up with like cloth and respirators and goggles and shit. And they're grabbing them up a dozen at a time and slinging them into those cage cubes that are being delivered and retrieved like clockwork by front-end loaders. And those front-end loader drivers, they're on methamphetamine 110% of the time. And they are fucking swinging those steel fucking forks around, and like guys are jumping out of the way. And it's just like, get the fuck out of his way then. Like
he's got a job to do.
So that's the nighttime farm. It's going in there and raising all that equipment up.
I actually honestly thought this is how it was done. Like if you had never told me, they back the truck up to the building. The door for the building is shaped and sized exactly perfect for the truck. And then they put ramps, and I really thought they just herded the chickens in like they were cattle.
Nah, they're shitty, dude. Like they're really, really, really stupid, and they're in a herd of 25,000.
Scary.
You can drive them with flashlights a little, but the problem is that the modern chicken isn't built to deal with a lot of excitement. They'll have heart attacks in very high numbers, like anything that spooks them. Like when they talk about foxes getting in, they'll kill a few, but a fox can only eat so many chickens. Yeah. He'll spook 1,000 of them, or even worse, he'll scare them. And they'll pile up on top of each other and suffocate everything on the bottom layer. And then because they're already in a bacteria-rich environment at a high temperature, and their body heat combines with that, they decompose at an incredible rate. After seeing how fast they can decompose, I mean, like 6 hours, they've turned purple and putrid.
Really?
After seeing that, it's like, in the right environment, you would think that like a human body would just disappear in like a couple weeks or something like that. If it's out there in like a filthy enough, like the right conditions, and certainly if there's predation, like if there's anything to come and take hunks out, but just like sitting there on that floor, they would turn into the most disgusting shit that you'd have to get a shovel to clean up.
How big is like this pile? I'm trying to picture like the pile of chickens. Like
All
big
right,
enough
so-
to cause like how tall is that to cause like a purple rotting in 6 hours? I can't believe that.
halfway
6
up your
hours?
knee. It depends how big they are, like how big each bird is. So like maybe knee high in a corner, they just pile up and die. They're fucking retarded. Like they'll just a rat will come in when they're little babies, and apparently the most tender part of like a chicken is like the back of its fucking neck or something. And so it's either that or rats kill for fun, like pure enjoyment of it. Because what they would do is they would go in, and these are those little yellow peep thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like their wings are just like little things.
Mm-hmm.
The rat would come and he would kill between 100 and 150 of them in a sitting, and he would pile them up, and they would all have one wound on the back of its neck where it like fucking killed them. Maybe it like it didn't eat any of them. It was killing them for fun, or the back of the neck is the tasty bit, and I don't believe that. So it's just killing them for fun. And the cool part, not cool because it's like, oh, all those poor baby chickens that I was going to sell for meat in 7 weeks. Really, you're just mad because you got to shovel them. But it's like he piled them up. Did he pile them up because that's fun for him and he's keeping score and he likes to see a big pile, or did he know I was coming?
I
know
have
I
a
was
few.
He knew you were coming. He wanted to see.
By nature,
And this is a little fuck
score
you.
things. I think like if you left gum wrappers and rotten eggs and shit like that, the rat would take them and put them in his stash.
So this isn't in his stash. He's killing them and making a pile right there. Which means he's moving them. He's killing them from the area and he's bringing them back to this in the floor, just in the middle of the room there. He's just left your little pile. I've seen it multiple times and it's creepy. So when my dad first bought that place, someone else had allowed it to become infested with rats, and that was the problem. I was a little kid at this time, and getting rid of the rats was a real ordeal because they were smart and they stopped eating the poison after a while. So we would go in there at night and we'd flick all the lights on, 1,000 light bulbs light up, and you could see them running, like a herd of them running from where we are back to the very rear of the building. And the rear of the building just has this flat wall. They're doors, but they're like the biggest church doors you can imagine that like swing like barn doors, like double. And there's a screen door on the inside of that big wooden door, but it's chicken wire. So they climb up that chicken wire, their little paws. So you can, when they get to the back, you can see them flowing up the wall, going into the ceilings. It's where they live. They live up in the ceiling or under the concrete pad. So we go back there, and I'd have a shotgun, and my dad would have a pistol. and while they were running up, it was just shooting them off the wall as they ran. We shot the doors off the building. we had to replace the doors on the building after like a while. But we shot all the rats. We would also do this thing. This is what you do on a farm because there's literally nothing to fucking do. Gassing rats was a real just great day. So
the winner of an activity. And
I was the best rat gasser of them all. I promise. It was like in a different life. Well, anyway, so we take a truck. You take a truck
where that didn't go.
And you hook the exhaust up. You hook the exhaust up to a pipe, and you pump that down into the rat hole. And the rat has like made a network of like Viet Cong-esque tunnels under a big slab of concrete. And you can see there's exits on every side, 2 or 3 on every side of this square, big rectangle, really big surface, like the size of a garage, and it's out in the open. And so we jam up every hole we can see, except for 2. One we gas, the other we wait at with pistols. So I'm on the other side with like a Ruger 22 pistol in each hand, and as they run out, I'm fucking 2-gunning them as they like as they try to get by. They're a little groggy, so that makes it easy. They're pretty fucked up from that gas, and it's all bright when they come out. It's the middle of the day, so they're easy to deal with.
Did you ever try? Did you ever try your hand at the actual like gathering of the chickens like that? Like grab them by their foot?
Fuck no, that is not something that's their job. That's on that's like I don't know how else to put it. That was just their job. That's a thing that like it's like out of our hands at a certain point, and it's like done. Like we don't have to worry about like if they get slaughtered or if that truck careens into a ditch along the way. We'll just get average pay. Like, oh, one truck died. What do you get paid per truck on average? All right, we'll pay you that. Like for spillage or whatever. Like once they've laid hands on them, our job's fucking over. I don't give a shit what happens, and I'm not touching them. That's the most disgusting job in all of it. when those guys come out, man, I feel bad for those guys. You'll see them at gas stations and stuff. Like they're in a white cargo van, and it's like 8, 12, like always Mexican guys. I've never seen anyone else do that job because it's so rough and it must not pay well. And they are filthy. They are filthy. And like after they've done their work, they're just in there piled up sleeping, because sometimes the job will be at my dad's farm and they'll start at night, and then the whole day will pass and they'll go again the next night, and they're just sleeping in that van out there, filthy, with no bathroom. Dad's telling me, you better not be shitting behind my building. And you know, they got to deal with that. It's a rough job.
That sounds awful. They should get paid more. Sounds like a difficult job. I didn't know if that was one of the duties that like they show up and you're like, oh, please, Dad, don't ask me to help with this.